Hello everybody, this is Japhet from the Art of Trading. Welcome back to another video of the Daily Top 10. We are here to analyze the stocks objectively, and we are going to see where price action takes us for today with our trending stocks. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button right here. It takes a second to do it, and if you're a returning viewer, let's get this video at least 25 likes, so hit that thumbs up button down below. Yeah, I'll also just want to inform you about my Instagram's account right here. Don't forget to hit a follow on this one too if you want to see me post, charts when the market is live. So I'm posting my analysis live with the trending stocks or whatever stocks that I see moving. So I posted there on my Instagrams, and don't forget to hit a follow on that if you want to be updated real time with my charts. So firstly, let's move on to our market analysis or market summary right here. Let's look at our market summary for today, February 18th. So everything looks just how they are usually, but today we have a lot more foreign net. We have a lot more of our foreign investors coming out, and thus we see it reflect on our point change at around negative 116 points, 0.79. So that's 1.25 billion pesos taken out of the market, and thus we see this much change on the negative side for our index. And we see that reflect heavily on our PSE chart right here. Let me see. Yeah, our PSE chart right here, we see that reflect with this massive candle on the downside. So it did pierce through. If we go to our 1 hour time frame, yep, it did pierce through our support area that we were mentioning here at 6,800 to 6,900. So it pierced through that, so which is kind of alarming in a way, because our index might be wanting to retouch these levels. Since we see a pierce through, this will act as resistance now, so we might see like a push on the downside and then push on the upside and act as the resistance before going back down once again. So we might see, hold up, let me get my arrows right here. We might see like a movement on the downside right here, and then possibly touch this as a resistance, and then before continuing down to push on the downside. I might want to favorite this. This is kind of good for our examples, but yes, for our movement waves. So if I want to use that, I can use that again. I'll add that to my tools that I mostly use right up here. And yeah, so I'm pretty sure this is going to act as resistance now, our support level, since it pushed through really hard on the downside. So I'm looking for it to find a level of support right here once again. So we are going to count this resistance right around this area, and of course we're gonna look at this one where it bounced up from. So this is a resistance right here. I'm including that for our range, and it was also a support right here before it gapped up a lot. So I'm looking for this range to just hold up, and man, with that pierce, I think we could indeed be seeing a move and retest right around this point range at 6,500. Let's put that in at 6,500 points to around, what is this, 6,600. So 6,625 right there. I don't know, 30. But yes, this is the new level that we're looking at. I'm pretty sure it's gonna want to touch this low again, this low at around 6630. So it would want to touch that again, and maybe touch the bottom of this at 6,500. So man, that push on the downside really got me thinking about PSE, and it's trying to really form a bigger range right around here. So it's a bigger range now, and we shall see what it wants to do over the next few days. So tomorrow it could honestly tomorrow or the next week it could honestly just bounce up from here. I mean, it could break back in and then bounce up just as this one did, this part right here last Feb 1. So we could see a bounce right away, but we don't know that. But two things can happen. One, it could bounce right away, or it could break down and then act and have this act as resistance for now. Hopefully it finds support levels, or build the support at this range right here. So two things can happen. One is this one, immediate bounce, option A, and then or this one, the ABC move right here. So we shall see. I'm not sure if I'm using this tool right, but for drawing purposes, I'm gonna use that as a label for the movements. It's easier to use that than draw 3 arrows right here. So yeah, let me save that, and best case scenario is still it breaking back in and bouncing up if there is enough catalyst and enough foreign investors coming back in. So for our first trending stock, let's look at APL right here. What is happening to APL today? We do see our first trending stock, APL. It finally filled the gap right here at around 28. So it closed at 0.2850, up almost 8% with a lot of net foreign today, foreign net. So I hope this gap is gonna be holding up as support, but definitely we still see this area as a resistance, the previous support range right here. If I were to draw this, so the gap was filled, right? So hopefully the gap acts as a support, but previously there was a support level right here that is now going to be acting as resistance at around 0.29 or 0.30. So that's going to be a zone we will be watching for it to maybe get rejected, or or maybe start of the pullback. But for today's movement, this is some really good movement right here, because we were able to hold up this support level at around 2250. So that was able to hold, and now we are looking for 2550 to 0.28 to hold. So it's literally inside there, inside the gap, trying to fill it. So over the next few days, we might be seeing rather a push on the upside even more, but definitely I hope that it pulls back right around this area at around 0.28 to build a solid support right there. So I'm gonna remove that, clean up our chart right here. But yes, I hope it does break above and then hopefully creates a level of support at 2550 to 2800 zone. So that would be a healthy movement instead of just, you know, gapping up again and then seeing a massive dump off from our institutions maybe, or the bigger traders. So for our healthy movements, let's just slowly, you know, build a candle right here and then pull back and create some level of support on our daily time frame. So next we have our beloved PHA, who has been just pulling back recently, and just, you know, it just keeps going down. There we go, it finally loaded. My apologies for that slow internet or slow loading time, but here's what's gonna happen. Here's what I'm thinking that might happen to PHA. So it did not bounce above, and if we go to our 1 hour time frame to get a little bit more context on this, as you see, we still have that downtrend holding up, and it's not moving positively yet. So I am scared for this one, as it might potentially break below here and touch the 2.2 levels again, 2.3 levels. So watch out for this one, because our resistance is still holding up in this zone, the support zone. If it breaks below that, it might be acting as a resistance once again, as it did here, because it took once, twice, 2 to 3 times that it attempted to break above, and it did, but we got a massive sell-off right away. So I'm hoping that it builds a level of support somewhere, because this is just going down, so it hasn't slowed down on its movement on the downside. So might as well wait patiently for that before coming in, because this support might not ultimately hold up, as we see a still, like, you know, creation of lower highs and lower highs right here. So yeah, we were seeing a lot of push on the downside right here, and then at the same time it was moving or pushing down as here as well, because we had a doji candle where it was indecision, but finally it decided to push down right after it opened on that doji candle on the 1 hour time frame. So this might have more push on the downside. More sellers are selling this than buyers, so there are more sellers than buyers, sorry. So we shall see, because the pressure is still on the bears and the sellers. So even if the gap was filled, there might be a little more people pushing this on the downside, but 1% is not too bad of a movement. And a negative net foreign closing in at 2.63. That's not too bad, but you know, there's definitely more sellers on this one, so we shall stay patient with it and just watch out for what it does, what it wants to do. So for Dito, what do we have right here? For Dito, we are still holding up this level of support, closing in at 17.78 unchanged with a lot of net foreign. So it's still up here and it's still undecided on what it wants to do. So just watch out, be careful, because if it breaks down below, this is what you're going to be watching out for. If it breaks down below, you should be looking to have your setup ready. If you have to cut your losses, so be it. But yeah, for now, this is holding up miraculously. So yeah, people are still interested in buying this at this price point, and even though we have profit takers, they are still willing to catch it for us. So yeah, that's it for Dito. I know it's short, but it's consolidating above this level of resistance slash support now, and which is good. That's a good sign. And up next we have ACEN. So yes, as for ASIN right here, what do we see? We still hold that consolidation phase, but we are seeing it trying to push on the upside with our level of support holding up right here. Quickly show that right there. Our level of support is holding up at 7.6 to 7.75. It is holding up, and we are seeing a push on the upside trying to break above this resistance at 7.9. It's a solid resistance because it was a support before, and now it's trying to push above that. And look at what we have. We closed at 7.86, or a 2% gain for today with a lot of foreign net. So that's a good sign. While it maintains this consolidation area, definitely accumulate shares at this level right here, and you know, just cut this if it goes below 7.5. Let's see what happens. But yeah, this is definitely a level of support that we're holding up, and a consolidation phase as well that we're holding up for ASIN. So up next we have FNI. We haven't looked at this in a while. FNI, what are you doing today? You had that massive break of this downtrend right here. I would say this was the end of a downtrend, because it decided what to do here, and our support level held right here, and now it's pushing after it closed above here yesterday around 2.74 range. So we were looking at this to do its thing, and today we do see a massive move on the upside. As we mentioned yesterday, it could do either, you know, a push on the upside or retracement on this 2.53 2.61 level. So yeah, now we see a massive move. The breakout is confirmed, and I myself am looking for this to pull back here at this level or create a new level right here around this area. We shall see what happens, but this is the zone, this is the range I'm definitely interested to see at around 2.8 levels. But if it doesn't go below that because of this push, I am looking for it to build some level of support right here at around this area at this price point. So 2.9 level is a good area. 2.9 to 2.93, that's a good area for it to build a support if it doesn't wanna. Yeah, let's just draw it right there in the middle. So yeah, because if you look at this, where is that, like the fib retracement, a good 50% would be really nice. Where is that? 2.87. So yeah, I'm looking at the 50% mark right here, 2.87. Let's just put it there. At the bottom of this candle. Yep, there we go. We're looking for it to potentially build a support right here for it to continue its move on the upside. So yeah, I'm liking the movement of this. Let's see what happens. If it doesn't build a support here, definitely watch out for this level at 2.8. That's what I'm looking at. That's what price action is telling me right now, because this is the action that we're getting, and it's pretty good. It's really good movement for FNI. And up next, who do we have? We have, oh, we didn't save green on the side, so let's look at green. What is green doing? Green, wow, green. So it did not build, or it did not take too much time building a support at this 50% level at 3.82 as we expected. It didn't pull back too much, but rather it broke above. Wow, that's a good break above on our daily candle. And what, guys, what are we looking at right here? You know me, you know what I'm waiting for. I am waiting for that pullback right around this level of 4.06. It's not impossible, but if it's it's not impossible for it to touch this again, wick out like this. It just wicked it out, and then it kept rallying on the upside. This is still overextended for me, so if you were able to catch it right here at less than 3 pesos, good for you. But definitely with these massive moves on the upside, a lot of people are going to be profit taking, so be careful on this one. If you want to get in, wait for it to build a support level around our key levels at these price points that I've mentioned, 3.7 or 4.05. Watch out for price action on there and see what happens, because right now it's just overly extended for me. It's really far from our trend line. Like, common sense, it's really far from our trend line. What's happening? It's gonna do a parabolic move, and it will definitely retrace here at some point to meet this line. So let's see what happens. If it holds, it holds. That's good for the stock, but definitely people are gonna be wanting to take profit. So yeah, watch out for your target prices, because you want to protect your gains. So up next, this closed up 4.38, sorry, and a good 12%, even with a lot of net foreign coming out. So look, this could be a sign that they're selling, but the locals are catching it, other investors are catching it, so that's good. So yeah, 12% today, massive move. FNI, how many percent did FNI move? Quite a lot as well. So let's see what happens. And up next we have which closed at 7.16 or negative under 1%, with, wow, that's not a lot of difference. So it's definitely consolidating and thinking what it wants to do. It broke our uptrend right here. It didn't bounce up, but rather it broke down. So it does want to build some level of range here first, or support. So we are looking at this support range at 7.1 to hold up, because if it does, that's a good zone. Let me just move that here. 6.85. let's adjust that. Let's adjust that block. So yes, there we go. We're gonna watch 6.85 to 7.1, and if it does hold right here, and yeah, it's gonna have to break this resistance at 7.71 right here. So you can see 7.71. If it wants to, it might just create a range right here, honestly. So we don't know yet, but this level of support is rejecting it. So I'm hoping that it does build some level of, yeah, like this key level is definitely holding up. It broke back in, which is a good move, and this could be a great accumulation phase if you are into this stock. So try to get it close to these prices if ever, because your cut loss points would be way closer, at around right below the support level that it might break. So yes, close at 7.16 minus 0.56%. Not too bad. Definitely slowing down on its movement and volatility. So let's move to our next one. BSC at 1.17. What's happening to BSC at 1.17? Really, it's still in this consolidation phase right here. So what's happening? I will just extend this. I'll just extend this for a bit right there. It's still there. It's still in this range, right around this price point. So we shall see what it wants to do, but for now it's definitely still consolidating. Yeah, and that's it. Consolidating right now for BSC, but everyone's still looking at this, so it's interesting. And up next we have IMI. Is this a newcomer? A newcomer to the daily top 10? Yes, it is a newcomer. So here we are. What is the story that it's telling us? So yeah, if there's a newcomer on the daily top 10, I like to start with my charts. As I've mentioned before in my previous video, I always look for the resistances right here, which it did break. So this level of support held up right around this area at 12.0 to 12.4. Excuse me. So 12.4 held up. The 12.0 price point held up as well. So this support level held up, and we do see an upward movement right here on these candles, and it finally broke above. So we had an ascending triangle right here, broke above, and guess what? It's gonna potentially want to look for some level of support to be built right around these price points. So I'm hoping that it builds a level of support right here, right around this area, close to our previous resistance at 13.5 or 13.49. So 13.8 right here. Hopefully it does build a level of support. You know it. It's gonna want to, how do you call this? 13.5. Let me just put it there. So yeah, it's gonna want to build a level of support right around this area, 13.5. Take note of that, everybody. That's gonna be a good area for it to to create a level of support to, pull back at. If it does that, that's a good movement, healthy movement for this one. But we definitely see an 11% change today, closing at 14.5 with even with negative foreign net. So yeah, if you're able to avail this at 12.4 right now, could be a great profit taking price. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna see a pullback as profit takers are gonna be doing their thing. So yes, if you want to enter this, I'm definitely going to be looking at this previous resistance that it might respect. and make it a level of support. So last one for our trending stock, we have MBT, Metropolitan Bank and Trust Company. So what happened here? Wow. So it had a resistance level right here, which it broke. As you can see, it gapped up. It gapped up, and we have a level of support that it respected right around this area. I'm just gonna say that this was a huge range that it respected, and then let me just mark that as red. And then now we see a gap up. So as we do say with all the gaps, it's gonna want to fill that up. It's gonna want to fill that gap sometime in the future, because there will definitely be profit takers as we see the price jump from 48 to 51. So I'm hoping that it fills the gap right around this area right here. So yeah, the previous resistance could also act as support, and the gap might not be filled, but every gap gets filled. So 49, wow, that's a huge gap. So it definitely will have some more profit takers right here as we see it create lower highs right there. So let me just move this right there. So we will definitely see this huge gap from 51, 48 to 51. So we will see that get filled over time. But that's it. It just literally gapped up. People are taking profit because of that massive move on the upside for this one. So let's just recap our PSEI one more time. So on our 4-hour time frame daily candle, we are seeing this massive move on the downside, and to me that will be a potential once again for it to break down and retest this as a level of resistance before going back and testing our 6500 zone. So that's not looking good for the index, but we do have trending stocks still, and yeah, let's see what happens on this one. As always, stay just vigilant on the movements, because we have a very volatile index right now and it's still not on an uptrend. So yeah, that's it from me and for the daily top 10 today. Sorry, this is a little bit on the longer side, but I just had to expound on certain things, and I hope you picked up something from that. And if you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up on this one, and I'll see you guys on the next daily top 10. But as always, remember to stay patient, be disciplined, and strive to be consistent with your trading. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Is it?